Hello, everybody, and welcome. My name's Firebug, and today we'll be checking out the zombie Neith, or misdiagnosis, zombie version of Neith to fit the Halloween theme. This video, I'll be kind of just talking about what my thoughts with the skin. What my thoughts in general about all these classic skins going back to Smite 2 and the whole situation about like how we bought the skin back in Smite 1 and then they're bringing it back in Smite 2, but it costs actual diamonds besides the green, the fuck is it called, green gems. Instead of costing gems, it costs diamonds now. So I'm kind of discussing all that, how I feel about it, what's my opinions on it, blah, 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 blah. So sit back, relax, hear me yap a lot. Maybe grab some snacks because this is going to be a kind of long video. Have some Neith gameplay in the background. And you can just sit there and watch it and just hear me yap in the background like Charlie Brown, like whoa, 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 if you want to. But yeah, and if you like this kind of content, please let me know by hitting the like button. And if you want to watch more Smite content, consider subscribing. I also play Jotun Slayer, so you might see some content of that, but it's gonna just be all Smite, and my channel's mainly just Smite. So, but first of all, thank you for clicking on this video. Just want to say thank you. All right. First things first, let's talk about the skin itself. I really like the zombie misdiagnosis zombie version. I think that one just looks a lot better compared to the other three, which I'm going to probably show on screen right now. And compared to the other three, I think the zombie one just is like a lot better. Like it could have just been its skin itself, or a zombie version of Neith could have been a skin itself. Because every time I think about it, I've always think of the Susano zombie one, and that one was really cool, and I enjoyed that one in Smite 1 as well. And I was like, you know, it would be kind of cool if all the gods had like their own skin that's like a zombie version, instead of just being like, oh, here's this skin, here's a classic skin, and then they're like, okay, here's a zombie version of it. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like if they just did back to like the simplicity, that's the word, just having like simple skins, I think it would do well. Because if you really think about it, if you go back to Smite 1, and yes, I've been playing Smite 1, well, not recent, but I am a Smite 1 veteran. Just a little background. I am a Smite 1 veteran, and then came to Smite 2, right? But if you go back to Smite 1 and look back at like their OG kind of skins and stuff like that, they're kind of simple, right? They got the pirate skins, they got some zombie skins, they got the tier 2s. Tier 2s is basically like the original design of like the actual character, but the tier 2 just like slightly enhances it. And I've always kind of liked it, you know, like the little progression throughout the battles of like whatever battles it is, like Conquest, whatever. Smite used to have a story, but then they got rid of it, so I'm not too sure. But I've always liked the concept of like seeing your character, or the character that you really enjoy, just gaining more and more like armor pieces throughout the battles, gaining more, I guess you say, like an upgraded version of themselves. Looks cooler and all that, and it really, they had that in Smite 1. That's why I was like, I've always been a big fan of like just the simple skins, right? Even if it's dumb, I feel like the simplicity works a lot of ways. Like, because yeah, I am a big fan of like these zombie skins. I think they look cool, and I wish they did more of them. I was a big fan of it, the Susano zombie skin. Thought that one was really fucking cool. But now we have the Neith diagnosis one, but now it's just like a prism, and which costs money, which it's kind of like a, I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of how the system is, because I've always viewed, and I've said this like a while back, I've always viewed that if you had the skin in Smite 1, you should be able to have it again in Smite 2. And yeah, I get it. The whole like, well, you could just use your green gems to get it, but it's like, why? I don't know. It should have been some skins should have just been like a crossover, but I understand why they're updating this one and have a better visual, because the skin itself, I like the visuals. It looks a lot better, right? The misdiagnosis looks a lot better in Smite 2, and they updated the visuals, which makes sense, right? I also am a big fan of the original designs, though, just to please the veterans. You know what I mean? Because that's another thing I was thinking about, is that if you ever go back to Bacchus and they remodel Bacchus, right? But a lot of people want his classic original design. And I understand the limitations. I understand the, different engines. How Smite 1 was a whole older engine, and they didn't really have the same tech to implement that back into Smite 2. So what I'm trying to say is, like, I can understand how they can't bring back some of the classic skins, but if they did, I feel like that would have been a really cool idea, because classic Bacchus was still, like, I think a lot of fan favorites, and it was kind of like my favorite too, because it had that unique nostalgia with it, and I just think that that would really be beneficial for the people that stuck around. That's all I'm trying to say. So when I look at the misdiagnosis one, I like how the upgraded version is, but I also wish that I had the nostalgia one. Even though the nostalgia one was kind of dog shit, but it's still there. You know what I mean? That's like what I'm trying to say is like I'm not opposed of these new skins. I don't think they're bad. I kind of enjoy them, but I also wish I had the option to get some of the nostalgia ones, just to have that kind of feel for anyone that does want to buy them. And for high-res, I understand. They just want to make money. There's no point of like bringing a nostalgia skin and make like a couple cents. It just seems a lot of work to do it. But I feel like for the fans that stuck around, I think it'd just be kind of cool. So that's how I'm viewing it. But back to the misdiagnosis. The skin itself, the older one, it wasn't my favorite, but I still enjoyed what it was. And I feel like they should go back and kind of just do more of like the simplest skins. Nothing too crazy, nothing like, oh, here is the Artemis that she's a Frost Maiden, right? And I talked about that one in my other video, how I'm like, yeah, I'm grateful that it's there, but it's just like there's no backbone to it. There's no story to it. It's just like, here's a random skin that looks cool. It's like, okay, but the other ones, right? Go back to like, again, I keep using the Sasano zombie one. You go back to it, it had like a feel and storytelling to it. Like, he died in battle and then he got resurrected. The Neith zombie one, the misdiagnosis one, I don't like, yeah, you can make up a story, but it's not like, it doesn't feel the same, if that makes any sense. Like, there's no characteristics with these skins, because like that I think that's like what the loss of the charm is in this Smite 2, is that there's no like characteristics, there's no backbone, there's no storytelling. That makes it like more unique, and it could be like anything. In again, high risk can just make up anything, right? Like, oh, misdiagnosis, yeah, she took the wrong she was a test subject or whatever, and she took the wrong doses, and now she died, and then she came back. You know, something goofy. Like it had a story. Like when you go back to Smite 1's skins, you can kind of like when you looked at it, had a story to it. In some of them, not all of them. Not the what is it, season 10 skins, not the season 9, whatever, right? But if you go back to like the older ones, they have like a little bit of a storytelling to it, and that's what I kind of like miss. And I know people already talked about the skin, how the card art looks like AI generated, which it kind of does. I mean, even my thumbnail, right? I go on Photoshop and I use the AI to help like remove some things, add some things, right? That's how I make my thumbnails. And even then I was just like, oh, she's missing like another finger. So all I did is just use the AI and it already detected like perfectly. So it had that. So after thinking about that, I'm like, yeah, it seems a little AI, but I get it. And talk, they're like, well, we used a third-party service and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, yeah, but anyways, I'm not here to talk about the thumbnails, like, or the card art. Because the card art, yeah, you see it like once, but that's it. But in game, you really focus on the character design and all that. And the zombie one, the Neith zombie one, does stick out with me because I just think it just looks a lot cooler. The other ones, the black and pink one, it's okay, but it's not my favorite. Just like the pink and white, that one was like the worst one. And I don't know, it just had me thinking. It just like, I just wish like if they had more thought to it, it would probably appear more better. Because a lot of the issues that I have after like studying about color theory, what colors, you know, like group up together look like, what is the good colors that color combos, just more artsy kind of thing, right? Like, because I've been studying how to like what looks good, what's appealing, what's the mindset of when people see the color red, right? Red's apparently a really attractive color, like that kind of stuff. And I kind of I want to utilize that with my videos or my thumbnails. But when I look at these skins, these other colors for misdiagnosis, it just doesn't feel. It just feels like it's half baked. Like the original design of misdiagnosis was really thought out. And if you go back to the old design, she's even wearing a cast on her arm, and it's signed. It's just like those little details that makes, you know, like when you look at it, you see those little details, and it makes a story without even saying the story. And that's what makes the skin special. It's not how it really generally looks, because again, the old design of misdiagnosis didn't look that appealing, but had a story to it without even telling a story. Like, who signed her cast? Why did her arm break? You know, those questions that bring up in your head, and it makes it better. So I know maybe I'm old. Maybe I think of things like that. And I know a lot of people don't care about storytelling, lore, folklore, all that fun stuff, right? But I feel like just having that knowledge, or just like having that feel, really paints the picture of like a really good character design or skin design, in my opinion. And I feel like throughout the years, the more I played Smite 2, it just feels like they kind of lost that charm. It just feels more like, oh, here's a random skin. Here's a random Vulcan skin. What's the story behind it? Don't know. Just looks cool. That's how it feels. And I don't like it. I don't like how it just has a void feeling to it. And again, you can do the same things. You're like, well, how did he get the axe? Maybe slaying a demon, blah blah blah. But that's the difference. It's like the difference is when I look at the Vulcan skin, his Sega skin, whatever it's called, tier 4. And I look at it, it doesn't really paint a like story. When I look at the old Neith misdiagnosis, it paints a story without even saying it. And all it is just the slightest details. And the new one, she doesn't have the cast. She doesn't have the cast that's, written. They got rid of the gloves, which, again, looks nice. Like, peeling wise, looks nice. They made her thighs bigger, of course, please the fans. They made her boobs bigger. Her figure is more as an hourglass figure and all that. Like, you get the idea. But again, in my opinion, it feels like the skins just really lack a storytelling or the meaning behind it. And that kind of sucks. And I'm not saying all skins should have a story. I'm not saying that. It's just that when you play Smite 1 and you go back to Smite 2, it feels like there's a void that's missing, right? Like, for me personally, the misdiagnosis skin wasn't my favorite, right? And Smite 1. Like, I barely used it whatsoever. The other Neith skin that I probably used a lot was the what is it called? It's called the Scarlet something. Let me look it up real quick. Okay, so it's Scarlet Dangerfield. So even that skin, when I look at that one, it paints a story. When I look at the Apollo Agent one, it paints a story too. And you can kind of have those little bits of like what do you call it? Those little bits of the VGS when the character's talking, especially with the Apollo one. It's not just him. He has like an agent in the radio that he's like talking to it, right? And it's a female voice that talks back to him, and it's funny. It has that characteristic, right? It has the feel of the skin. The Neith one, the Scarlet Dangerfield, it also has that kind of feel of like she's an agent, right? And you can kind of feel that and see it, and you can experience that when you play the skin, right? There is the pirate skins. You go back to the pirate skins. All of them have, the pirate theme, and it works with the character. It's not like here did they slap the skin on, and it has like no storytelling. And again, it could be a goofy one, right? But every time you see those kind of like simple, like a simplistic skin, it doesn't have to be super flashy. You can still make that storytelling and background for the skin, and that's what makes it a good skin. That's what makes it like, oh, I kind of want to buy that skin because, the VGS, all that, just paints a picture. I know. Hopefully it makes sense for you guys what I'm trying to say. But it feels like these skins are just like non-inspiring, and they keep bringing back all these classic skins, which I don't mind it. I don't mind that they upgraded these classic skins. The older one, right? They updated it, and again, the colors were really out of whack in some of them. Then last second, after Sexy Rexy made a video, it feels like the last second they're like, well, shit, let's change it. And it's just like, it's just so weird to me, like, and I see it again and again and again with these color prisms. It just feels uninspired, and it just doesn't look right. It doesn't look good. especially when someone like went to art school or all that. You probably think of like, well, what about the color? Three. I usually do the 3 palette colors, but for some reason in Smite, they usually do 2. They're like, oh, here's a good example, right? Let's say like, for example, right? I'm not saying it. Let's say the misdiagnosis, the skin I'm using right now, her hat is red, so it means I'm gonna use just a red outfit that goes with it because they're matching, but it doesn't work that way. Like, that's just a 1 color combo. You want to at least have 3. What makes the zombie ones good is that it has 3 colors. So I'm gonna throw the card art at you, and it actually has 3 color combos, right? So you got the greens, you got the purple, and you got the red, the blood, right? So it makes it 3 different colors. But if it didn't have the blood effects on it, it's just a 2 color combo. And I'm not the biggest fan of 2 color combos. I really am not. If you go to her other skins, right? The one I don't like the most is the pink and white one, because it just feels lazy, if that makes sense. So they do like the stripes of the pink and white, but then they cover the whole body of it. Like, sometimes, in my opinion, like subtlety makes a big difference, but it just feels like they kind of just throw it in there because they kind of ran out of ideas. And I don't know, it rubs me the wrong way just seeing stuff like that. And again, I'm not like an art major, I'm not like an expert of art, blah 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 blah, but I kind of see the difference when I go back to Smite 1 and I look back at these skins in Smite 1, and it just feels like they have a lot more thought to it. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like there was a purpose in the skin. So, I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but I kind of feel it like that when I go back to Smite 2. And again, I buy these skins, and I'm like, okay, yeah, they updated the misdiagnosis one, which is kind of cool. I also got the Willix one, and I did like that one in Smite 1, and I'm kind of happy that they updated it too. But again, it just has that void to it. It's just like, you know, I like it, but I also don't like it. I also don't like the prisms, and I feel like they use the prisms way too often. And I get it, they're trying to please everybody, but sometimes you don't have to please everybody to get more money, or for the company to get more money. It feels like those restaurants that you sit down, and it's like, for example, like I go to a Mexican restaurant and I sit down and the menu is just like, oh, here's hamburgers, here's pizza, and you sit there like, why? You know, like, you're trying to please everybody. Like, I don't understand it. If I wanted to go eat pizza, I should go to a pizza place, not go to one restaurant that's claiming to be Mexican restaurant and it's selling pizza. That's what I'm trying to get at. It's just like, why are you trying to please everybody? It doesn't make sense to me. Just keep the skin, you know, good. And even if there's not like a 4th prism, I feel like that's fine. If I only had like 2 prisms of the misdiagnosis, I'd be fine. But it feels like they always do the four always in the pairs of 4. The other misdiagnosis one, the black and pink, right? The black and pink one doesn't look bad, but again, why is it like they only use 2 colors? If her eye color on the card art was different, that'd be a 3 different color combo. If I went to Photoshop, change the eye color, it'd probably look a lot cooler, right? I feel like with green eyes, it would look a lot cooler. Or something that's like there, like a hint of a 3rd color. Because sometimes I feel like they always kind of just do this, and I maybe that's just me, but I've noticed like lately the art team just feels it feels weird. You know, like it doesn't feel human sometimes. It's like a conspiracy theory. It's like, oh man, are these skins like made by AI, or is it actually like people sitting there and actually making it? I know that sounds that sounds really stupid, but sometimes it feels like that. I'm like, dude, it doesn't feel right sometimes when I see these skins or these new updated versions of these skins. Maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just crazy. But what do you guys think? What's your opinions on the classic skins coming back to Smite 2? What's your thoughts on it? Do you agree with what I'm saying? The third color combos usually look a lot better. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is like they bring back some of these skins and they have like the same voice or the same VGS voice. So back then, I kind of makes sense with Misdiagnosis to have that voice, right? But when I was playing the skin and hearing it again, it doesn't seem right. Because like I'm like, why is it like the quality sound the same? It's kind of like they just copy and paste it, right? And I know a lot of people will be like, well, you know, blah 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 blah. But yet again, I'm just like, they're making new skins. They have the Agni. His original voice actor got swapped. I was like, how hard would it have been? Like again, you don't have to be the same voice actor, right? If I had Misdiagnosis and her voice actor wasn't the same, I think I would be fine with it. But I wouldn't be too fine about it if it was like completely different. But I feel like some of these voice actors or if you're gonna bring back a skin that's classic, but the voice is kind of like outdated, you could really hear it, and it kind of throws you off. And as an outside perspective, right? If someone bought the skin like that didn't play Smite, wasn't playing Smite 1, picked up the skin, and like a different streamer, right? He just came in. There's a lot of traction going on for Smite, and they notice that. I feel like it will throw them off too. Like I always feel like first impressions is always like key, especially if it's like you trying to bring more people into your game so you can make more money, because that's the goal, right? You're working to make more money, but you don't have to be corporate like a corpro to do it that way. But I feel like with some people, they like to experience that kind of feel to it. So again, if they haven't seen this Misdiagnosis one and they're like, okay, this is a cute skin, blah 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 blah, right? Like a female streamer came over, never played Smite, saw this skin, and they start doing the VGS. They're like, why is the voice sound so outdated? And again, they don't have the context and or that, right? And they didn't understand that this is actually an older skin. I feel like just that couple of seconds, it just has that nasty taste in their mouth. Like, oh, they just copy and paste some of these voices that some of them, I feel like they do need a touch up. Sometimes when I hear Hercules, his base model, I can't fucking hear him when he does the VGS. He's like, hey, attack right lane. But he says it so monotone. He's like, and I'm like, what? And then I had to go back, look down, and he's like, oh, he's telling me to attack right lane. And then, I don't know, it pisses, not only it pisses me off because I can't hear him, but it will piss off the Hercules that's like, dude, I told you to attack right lane. Why are you not in right? But that's it for what I got. So But again, if you agree, disagree, let me know in the comments. If you like this kind of content, just leave a like. If you want to see more Smite content, subscribe. And if you want to see no commentary videos, check out my Friday videos. I'm gonna make another Friday one this week. So subscribe so you don't miss out, and check out my Friday videos. No commentary. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.